Red lights on, and away we go. We are racing for the 6 Hours of Imola. James Calado and Phil Hansen, and look at Kevin Magnussen down the inside of Hansen, looking for second place into Tamburello. Can't quite make it through. The two Toyotas side by side. Through comes the Peugeot. The Peugeot staying in front of the Alpine. The second Alpine trying to make up ground as well. That's the 35 car of Ferdi Habsburgen in LMGT3. It is the 46 BMW of Amadou Hardy who makes it through. I missed my guess. All of the hypercars have made it through turns 1, 2 and 3 without drama. Nobody's been through the gravel, and they're already climbing the hill out of Tosa as we ride on board with Julian Andlauer towards the tail of the field.
Yeah, 3 cars already passed by the number 50 Ferrari starting from the back of the grid, but all sorts of rumbles going on in the middle pack.
Yeah, like Duval getting stuck in there with the BMW around Piratella, just sticking to the inside. But we saw one car just touch the gravel, didn't we, on the exit of the Villeneuve chicane, one of the Alpines. I believe it was Fred Makawiki, but he got away with it.
Nick Nielsen starting the 50 Ferrari at the tail of the hypercar field. He's already jumped both Astons and the 99 Proton competition for our Porsche. We ride on board with Mike Conway right in front of us, the tail of Kevin Magnussen. Conway with Brendan Hartley in the second black Toyota, and then Paul Di Resta in the better of the 2 Peugeots.
And you see the Ferrari there, number 50. They had a terrible time yesterday. They had the speed to be up there with their teammate car 51, but all their laps deleted sees them at the back of the field in one of the fastest cars out there. You can just pick him out there, the bright red Ferrari. Watch out for their progress in this long race today.
Mike Conway trying to give himself a little bit of clear air behind Kevin Magnussen down to Tamburello as we ride on board with the 87 Lexus Petru Ambrescu, and that car currently in 3rd place in LMGT3, but under pressure from the first form Porsche is the other Lexus, and that's Arnaud Robin, the red and black car. He's got the inside line, but the Porsche nearly gets around the outside. He holds on.
Yeah, that Lexus has got its air intake full of grass. It's been off the circuit.
A very hard place to try and overtake a Tamburello chicane on the outside. It can be done, but you need to have a lot of your car more than just alongside before the turning point. It wasn't quite the case there for the Porsche.
Yeah, a little gap back to that second Lexus, but the lead Lexus in 3rd place as the rest of them sweep down the hill into Acqua Minerale. They go around a school playground and then climb up to Variante Alta, over the top of the hill and through this chicane.
Yeah, Kevin Magnussen being put under a lot of pressure there by Mike Conway in car number 7, Toyota.
Conway would love to get by Magnussen to try and latch onto the 2 Ferraris. We're on board with the 3rd of them, Nick Nielsen. This is car number 50, the red car. Porsche in front of him. That is the number 5 car of Julian Andlauer. And there's the second Lexus, under real pressure from the Mustang behind. The Ford Mustang driven by Stefano Gattuso. 2 Italian drivers in that field.
That's the first Lexus,
that
because that Mustang is doing very well indeed.
Yep. Battle of V8s.
Always a tricky braking zone down that hill. The car doesn't really want to decelerate for you into Rivazza 1, but meanwhile, James Calado out in front, the sister car behind, the bright yellow Ferrari of Phil Hansen, just keeping check on where his teammate is, and here's a potential overtake coming up.
Yeah, it's the second Mustang. That's the 77 Proton competition car, the white nose. Bernardo Souza going around Darren Leung. He's gone the inside, gets into the braking area ahead, so he's picked off Darren Leung's McLaren.
And it looked like he had good exit speed coming out of Rivazza 2, but the actual straight line speed as well on top of that momentum seemed to be far better than McLaren. So yeah, that's something to look out for, obviously, with the other Mustang up just going out of your screen there. So our Harty's job, of course, is just to keep track position. He's got the Ferrari lurking behind him, the Vista F Corsa with Aereo at the wheel, putting the pressure on. But it is an easier circuit than most to maintain track position, and for a bronze-rated driver, it's very difficult. I know he's amongst all the other bronzes, but mistakes can happen. Here's a replay looking back at their start. And that drag race towards turn 2. The Ferrari's got good straight-line speed there as well, you could see.
Yeah, Ian James in the Aston Martin being conservative on the driver's left down to Tamburello.
And it was actually a great move by Ario in that AF Corsa Ferrari round the outside of the Lexus. Yeah, he just dived around the outside, had confidence on the brakes and those cold tyres, and a few others as well. There goes one of the Iron Dames. That's the Iron Dames kind of in pink round the outside of a few as well. That's how it can be. Oh, and actually contact there as well. Well spotted, Graham.
Big sideways contact with Celia Martin there. Around the outside goes Francois Rowe. That's a cracking move, wasn't it?
Really good driving.
And the Mustang almost got third place there as well from Umbrarescu. And this is on board with Umbrarescu in the Lexus. He just hung on in front of the Mustang of Stefano Gattuso. And there's the Iron Dames, the pink and white Porsche. Had a little nudge just ahead of Ben Keating. That's Racing Spirit Lemon on the left-hand side with the bright green nose on the Mustang.
Oh, someone's been off there. Look how dusty it is, how hazy it's. And there's the Corvette just touching the gravel as well. So someone's had a bit more of a rough ride on the exit of the Villeneuve chicane.
That was early lap, so I think that was where the hypercars had left the dust. Down the inside of the McLaren comes the 33 car of Ben Keating, so he's gone by James Cottingham as well. So Ben Keating started 13th in Qatar, ended up first.
But if you do sense that opportunity and you see it unfold in front of you in the traffic, you have to be ready to pounce as well. So it's choosing your battles basically at this point.
And sometimes you're...
Oh, and there's a mistake. Sorry, there's a mistake there from the Porsche midway through Pirata. So it's stuff like that you're looking for. Oh, that was a glimpse of hope there for Nielsen, and he was close enough, ready to pounce, but it was just collected in time. But he's got a good run out of Aqua Minerale. On the inside, he looks towards the top chicane, and I think he's going to send this on the inside. He does. A great opportunistic move there, and that all started at Piratella's mistake.
Yeah, and he would have been piling on the pressure lap after lap after lap, and the tiniest little flinch from the car in front, and he's got momentum.
And now he's unleashed. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to say. Oh, so it's, yeah, he ran too wide on the curve as well. He was feeling more pressure from the moment he made that mistake in Piratella. Doesn't really bother to hold the inside line and defend it too much before this chicane. Again, the Ferrari has been a much faster car than the Porsche here all weekend so far, but it's a nod of approval from his own team. And now look at him, unleashed, racing up to the back of the car in front.
This is encouraging. Three-way French battle, Peugeot Alpine, not for 16th or 12th or 11th, but for 6th. Both cars with a lot of race pace. Here and there's the change. Mustang gets through. Good move by Bernardo Souza down into Tamburello. And that's the way it is when you're a TV director. The moment you take your eyes off a 4-lap long battle.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Sold him a dummy on the way into turn 2. So went to the outside, straight to the inside. A classic dummy maneuver.
It's back with this battle then. Again behind the 31 BMW. Another one with a penalty coming
This could be good. This could be good for Nielsen because he's had a better run there. Vanthoor thought about going down the inside and he should have just made his stick, but he thought better of it. Now he's in a really vulnerable position here. So Nielsen's got the picking of which way he sends his car. Does he commit to the outside? Yes, he does. And look at that. It looked like there was almost a bit of contact between the two of them there. I'm sure he's going to do this on the brakes. It's hard to do it, but he does. Brilliant driving there. Honestly, it's been brilliant driving from Nielsen. Super precise and great from Vanthoor as well. Now he's under pressure from El Bamba in the caddy.
2.7 million views of the full access programs for last season. Who's in the dust?
It's a Corvette.
Oh, it is a Corvette. It's 33.
Keating.
All of that hard work undone, and Ben Keating dropping to the tail of the field. And was there contact with Celia Martin?
There was indeed. So it wasn't just through the gravel, a spin through the gravel as a result of that contact. Always hard to see that car down the inside, but yeah, it was a little bit late, but she should have been seen as well, and there was zero room given. But yeah, one of those unfortunate moments in the Tamburello chicane. And
just going through behind.
I think the move was on. I think the move was on. It was a little bit late, but the move was on, and I think she forced him into a position where there was enough of her car down the inside that there should have been at least an allowance for that.
3 positions lost, the one to Celia Martin, and 2 cars that had been behind for Ben Keating, but he's back underway, under investigation that instant. That's not a surprise.
So the stewards will look at that. They've got two driver advisors as well. Yannick Dalmas, who's one of our safety car drivers, multiple Le Mans winner, who will be, in fact, the Grand Marshal for Le Mans at this year's 24 Hours, and joined by Peter Dumbreck, another man with lots of racing experience, who will be on the driver advisor panel for the stewards. So they will look at the video, they'll look at the throttle traces, the braking positions, compare it to previous laps.
We're going to go to a full course yellow in about 20 seconds. I'm guessing that is going to be for a clear up down at the incident site.
Full course yellow in less than 15 seconds.
When did the lead change in LMGT3? We're now seeing 21 Francois Heriot ahead of Ahmed Al-Hati.
As they went back to green, by the look of things, with green flags being way behind them.
Yep.
I think that's just, he's jumped in for the lead
now,
as we went back to green flag running.
Don't forget that 21 and 87 rather, have got 5-second penalties to be added to their first pit stop. So that will reverse that position, even if Ahmed Al-Hati doesn't. But that's some excellent response. Francois Heriot was in very good form this morning, actually.
Here we go. This is another move, potential position gain for Nick Nielsen. You go to the outside again. Better straight line speed than the Peugeot. And he's going to be good on the brakes once again. He does, gets another place. So strong on the brakes, isn't it, that Ferrari? He might be a bit compromised here by the GT. That was clever thinking, though. He lifted earlier in the corner through the right-hander to make sure he had a run on the GT car in the place where he knew he couldn't get overtaken. Very smart thinking there.
Look behind as well, though. Still behind the Peugeot, both the Porsche and the Cadillac, looking to see whether or not they could do the same. Tellingly, they could not.
The 35 Alpine.
Here we go, Martin. Here we go, Martin. He's right up behind the BMWs. Now, can you repeat the same move? Oh, how good are you on the brake? There's GT cars well in the way, and he's going to have to yield this time, surely, because of the GT cars. Yeah, that scuppered his plans there.
Right, drive-through penalties, 88 Mustang, 35 Alpine ahead of this battle, and 12 Cadillac ahead of this battle. So he's already going to make up 2 places, because 2 cars in the top 10 have a drive-through penalty.
Watch this then. So you're looking to go to the outside, or the inside of this corner, gives you the outside for the first corner, but he has to yield because of that move there, because of the Corvette on the inside, and then he's completely low. Oh, I don't go to the inside of the GT. No. So it's smart thinking once again, knowing, like I said, choosing your battles. That wasn't the right one to get involved in.
Got to survive first. Change of place. That is number 6 ahead of 94. So Lawrence Vantor dive bombs, Loic Duval, and through comes the Cadillac round the outside. Oh, Bamba, the gold 38 car at Aqua Minerali. He's going to go in the gravel there. There was no chance.
Shandlauer as well.
Oh, and Bamba very slow. Andlauer on the grass in the white-nosed Porsche. And Bamba almost got passed by the 99 Porsche with the green highlights. It's all gone on there.
Very hard move to try and pull off around the outside of Aqua Minerali, but there was contact. He was shoved off the racetrack, basically, and I'm sure the stewards will be looking at that one as the Peugeot dived in as late as he possibly dare. He stayed on the circuit, but unfortunately for him, it wasn't the case for the 38 cars. This is what it looked like on board with the Peugeot. Oh, it just wasn't even on the curb on the inside of turn 12, and then had his yeah. So it's this moment here where I just feel like wasn't quite on the racing line was the 94 Peugeot there, and that's what there's nothing that Bamba could do once he got to the apex of turn 12. And then you're bouncing all over the curbs and off the track. So a daring move to try and pull off. Definitely wasn't given the room on the exit of 12.
Also got a grandstand view from that view there of Julien Andlauer looking to try to take advantage, but fully off the track to the right-hand side and trying to get by that Peugeot.
Yeah,
world's most expensive lawnmower came into action.
Duval had both of his elbows out. Let's hear from Earl Bamba. Is he happy?
Ask for a penalty. Should be drive-through for the Peugeot, drive-through.
Let's take a look in replay. Going by the first form Porsche, that's just come out of the pit lane. Ooh. And cold tyres for Ryan Hardwick, almost causing a major incident. An hour and nearly 4 minutes of 6 have already whizzed by. Meanwhile, battle on, 54. Thomas Floor in contact with the Proton Mustang, rather, Stefano Gattuso.
It was unnecessary contact, unnecessary there. It could have been that could have been a big one. Luckily, it was just bodywork damage, but the Mustang more than had the right to be there, in my opinion.
And unfortunately for Gattuso, he's so far back because he didn't go through the grid lines at the start and had a drive-through. Let's hear from BMW.
I have a bit too much rear locking for turn 14.
And the Cadillac, of course, you will, I'm sure a lot of you have seen the dramatic pictures from free practice as it got very sideways under Alex Lynn.
Here we go.
Off the right-hand side.
Here we go, another shot at it for Nick Nielsen behind the BMW. He's had a good run out of Rivazza 2. Looks at the inside, looks to the outside. No room for him that time again. A bit of a lock-up as well, for good measure.
And just point out, that Ferrari started 18th. We're an hour in. This is now the battle for
It's not over.
6th.
It's not over. He's going to try around the outside again in Villeneuve's game. No. Tell you what, Rast has got this racetrack well covered. A la Paul di Resta last time we saw him defending into Tamburello. So Rast very good on the defensive driving.
Of what's coming for 2026. Can you give us a couple of ideas of the kind of headlines you might see?
Yes, we are at the end of our process to develop the new range for 2026 season.
Sorry, just to butt in here. They could see finally an overtake. This is Nick Nielsen's best chance yet. Using that straight line speed advantage. He's good on the brakes, we know, and that is the move that's been coming for a long, long time. Sorry to butt in, but I could see that coming from as early as Rivazza 1. Back to you.
So, putting pressure on us to have the tires earlier than 2026, but we will introduce them only in 2026.
Just a detail that we just saw, that change of position. Number 5, Julian Andlauer's Porsche going by. Neil Jarni, the 99 Proton competition car. And back with the LMGT3, Ian James and Yasser Shaheen with a run up to Variante Alta. And that hypercar battle right behind. And Shaheen outbrakes himself and... I'm not sure who was in most trouble there, but somehow they all got through. That's multi-class racing. You know, that's the potential dramas at every turn.
6 people in the box at the moment, and all cringed at the same moment.
Just seeing if Shaheen, he's going to have to give that place back because he went all 4 wheels over the white line on an overtake. Let's have a look. Sorry, this is the replay. Does he manage? No, it's clearly all 4 wheels off the track for that overtake. So.
Also a great opportunity there, Rand, to see the other thing that happened just a few moments ago, which was the switch between the two 963s in shot there. Number 5 of Julian Andlauer gone by Neil Jarni in the number 99.
Ooh, Derek de Boer, or whoever is in car number 10. Across the gravel it is Derek de Boer still, racing Spreader Lemon. 88 Proton competition. And around the outside goes the number 15 BMW Hypercar. That car we haven't talked a lot about since the opening laps. Kevin Magnussen still in 3rd behind the 2 Ferraris. And there is the first form Manthey Porsche. Ryan Hardwick now up to 5th position and chasing the first of the 2 Lex, or the second position of the 2 Lexi for 4th place. 10-second penalty added to the pit stop next time round for 54, the car of Thomas Floor.
That's the incident with Stefano Gattuso side by side that damaged the Mustang, the 88 car, that is now running last and 2 laps down.
On board with Earl Bamber. 38 Cadillac still outside the points in 12th place. Paul di Resta down to 11th. Don't forget, Paul di Resta was, what, 5th at one point, 6th at one point?
Was 5th, at one point. But he hasn't had the speed, or the car hasn't had the speed in the race so far. And we saw him on that massive defensive drive earlier on, and that defensive drive continues now with his mirrors full of the caddy that closes in ever closer, lap after lap. Earl Bamber fired up, of course, from what happened to him earlier on with the sister car of the Peugeot, number 94, down at Acqua Minerale. It was worth swapping them around. Sorry, Graham. It was worth swapping the cars around before. When Brendan was on the attack, he looked like he had the speed. Now seems that Mike has, well, more than got the speed to at least hang on with Brendan. So they're thinking now about swapping the cars
Trouble
back.
for 93, turn 7, and that's a tricky place to get turned back around. Does that neatly to that point. Well, the rest tries to get the car underway and does so.
Oh, the tyres aren't going to like that. But let's have a look, see how that happened. Was it in traffic? The traffic was involved, but just been hit on the back.
That was the 38.
Wow, there's nothing that Paul could have done with that one. This is a rear view shot. It's going to be pretty clear to see. He just waited mid-corner. Probably went a little bit slower than what Bamber was thinking he would, but he had traffic in his way.
He hit me up the arse, sir.
Yes, we saw, we have reported.
Ben Keating and Celia Martin, here we go. It's deja vu all over again. And this time she makes a little look down the outside inside. And Keating...
Hypercars all around. That was close, wasn't it?
Yeah, Keating had to take some very decisive evasive action there. So actually Celia was fortunate not to have been alongside, because that would have been 3-1, not really working well.
Still the bronze drivers at the wheel. Don't forget of the LMGT3 category. They're all doing a great job. You have the silver drivers, different graded drivers itching to get in the car once the driver time is completed, which they're coming up to, by the way. 1.5 hours gone of this race so far, of the 1:45.
So in fact, behind Gattuso with the green highlights, the Aston Martin there with the late line highlights, that is Derek de Boer, and he is the next car behind Thomas Floor on the standings. And who's in the gravel? And that is
27.
down.
27.
Yes,
I think
it is Ian
Martin.
James, the 27 Aston Martin. He was in 6th position.
That's down at Ravazza 1, isn't it? What's happening? Oh, he's been hit from behind.
And that
so
was
who did that?
Yasser Shaheen was the car behind him in GT3.
It was the BMW.
Yep, the Bend BMW, I'm afraid, came slicing off track.
He was off and onto the curb, and the momentum took him into the side of that Aston Martin. That's quite a big incident there for...
Yeah, nasty. That's nothing he could have done there, just a complete passenger.
Safety car has been scrambled.
Yep. Oh dear. Okay, well, first safety car, and that was an immediate safety car for the race director. No question at all. Boom, straight to safety car. Earl Bamber Paul di Resta incident will be investigated as well.
But yeah, there was nothing he could do there. Just when we rode on board, you heard the contact. And yeah, going in backwards. Safest place to do it, really. It's not comfortable, but it's just, he would have known full well as soon as he had the contact behind him, you were just always going to go off at high speed.
On board with Shaheen.
Looking left to right, thinks about going on the inside, but it's a tough one to do that, because you know the racing line is going to eventually end up on the outside before the corner anyway. It
was the overtake from the Penske car. I think he thought there was the door open for him. There just wasn't room to do it.
He got his nose onto the inside and then realised what was happening and couldn't get back out of the hole. There's Ian James, and that was when that wall is coming up fast in the driver's side window. Yeah, that's a big hit.
Yeah, Magnussen straight on it on the exit of Ravazza 2, and actually Hansen had a bit of a snap oversteer, unwanted timing there from the 83 Ferrari. Is going to be okay though, even though Magnussen's looking pretty feisty. Just covers off the inside just in case. And nothing that Magnussen can do this time around.
Yeah, but look at the gap that Magnussen already has over the number 8 Toyota, and that's because Sebastian Buemi was behind an Aston Martin coming up to the line, which may not perhaps have restarted with quite the alacrity of K-Mag.
And the really interesting thing for me is that nobody pitted for fuel at all. So after those 3 laps, when you can pit for fuel, that goes to show how important track position is, as we see it pass.
Martin goes by Ben Keating cleanly this time. So, and look at the way she went by, and that really flew by. And just in front, the 2 McLarens are at it as well. They're both out of the points. No, they're not. 59 is in the 95 is in the points. 59 is not. 1 hour 45 minutes coming up, and that will be the end of drive time for our bronze drivers. So let's look at Yasser Shaheen in the 31 BMW. He's up behind the turquoise first form, easy for me to say, car Ryan Hardwick. This is the battle for 4th place in LMGT3, and ahead is the 3rd place Lexus of Arnold Robert. But
that's side by side and contact, 5 on the 36.
That was a really good late dive. Anthony?
Julian Andlauer, yeah, down the inside of Ravata 1. The gap was closing, but actually the Alpine did the right thing. That was going to be a collision. If not, he put himself in an uncomfortable position there, did Andlauer, and that's how you have to overtake sometimes around this track.
So Valentino Rossi about to take over. Sudden uptick in interest in LMGT3 from the grandstands, I imagine, and also from all the MotoGP riders. Just heard from Pecco Bagnaia, Franco Morbidelli's here, Marco Bezzecchi as well.
Some laps were taken away for track limits, but that didn't put him off. So let's see on cold tyres now with the sister car behind.
Yeah.
As they head down towards the Villeneuve chicane, pops to the inside, but can't do anything there. Remember, ABS, anti-lock braking system on these cars. Rossi on those cold tyres, struggling, of course.
And don't forget, this is the order these two numbers finished in last year at LMGT3. 31 won, 46 was in second place. So BMW have winning history. And part of the reason the 31 car had the advantage you saw there, they don't have brand new tyres on. Valle has got brand new tyres all round. Conway so close.
We're going to go full course yellow, and that's going to happen in about 30 seconds' time. That's one of the reasons why.
Well, they caught the traffic, didn't they? We heard it on the radio. The traffic was coming up, so we missed it. This is obviously the aftermath of bits falling off of the car. But the reason that gave René Rast that chance to be up with the Toyotas in the first place, because they haven't got the same speed today here, it was because of the traffic. I'm convinced by it. So he's had a bit of an opportunity there and then just muscled his way by into the top chicane as the full course yellow is out. Conway peels off.
Yeah, the Toyota pushed me in turn 40, man.
Yeah, so there was a big old scrap going on there. I want to see more footage of how it started.
He didn't pit, the 7 did.
That's what I say. So, yeah, this is only the after. I want to see, like, look, there are GT cars everywhere. So something's happened on the run out of Acqua Minerali up towards Variante Alta. Yeah,
well, if
contact
that's what
both ways.
If he's saying that's the contact, that was
no,
later.
it was the first. It was the first bit. It was so the right hands. Yeah, Conway's gone down the inside. Then that's the first contact, and it's the second bit of contact. So yeah, Conway's gone for a move down the inside, or was it Rast trying to go round the outside?
And they are working their way through. Here's the battle for second again in LMGT3. And Valentino Rossi moves through on the inside, gets up to second place ahead of Timo Boguslavski, but they're still nearly 20 seconds behind the Lexus. And right behind them, Drift King Simon Mann in the 21 Ferrari. So this is on board with Boguslavski. Came into endurance racing from Rallycross.
Yeah, they're dancing the streets of Imola right now. Through into the lead of a Type 4 LMGT3 battle comes the Doctor, not the lead, apologies, second place, because Clemens Schmidt is 20 seconds up the road from this, but this is a 3-car battle for that second place.
Oh, somebody's lost a bit of tyre belting.
Yeah.
Or is that, I think, a wheel arch liner? No, it is. Somebody's had a tyre delaminate.
Looked to me like a bit of plastic from one of the covers of the barrier or something. So we will see. Don't know where that came from. Yeah, it looked like a thinner material than rubber.
Yeah, maybe so. Now, nobody's had a puncture that we've seen, and I'm sure cameras would have spotted it and heard it going by. So our race leader, Antonio Giovinazzi, the 51 Ferrari that he put on pole, just 4 laps in to his first of 2 stints.
And it's always a weird feeling when you take over the tyres from another driver. That's exactly what he sees, 79 laps worth on all 4 tyres there since the start of this race. So it's a strange feeling, you jump in, the car feels very used. Let's put it that way. You cursed your teammates for any lockouts.
The lap we just did is perfect. Let's copy-paste this lap, the full stint.
From the orange and black McLaren, and now looking forward at Eduardo from Johnny Edgar in the yellow and black TA Sport Corvette.
Yeah, that Aston Martin ahead of him has got some good straight line speed. He's all over the McLaren now, so it's the 2 British cars side by side. Up the inside goes the Proton car and drives Waits just straight by.
Yeah, nothing the boat could have done there. He's now had a look back on the inside. Yeah, nothing that Nothing that the Corvette could have done there, but the Toyota getting squeezed out of room there. Was that with alongside the caddy?
Yes, it looked like it, right behind this battle. And there is the Cadillac. Yeah, Cadillac goes by the Corvette, that's the gold, and the black Toyota right behind, that's car number 8. And Rio Hirakawa with Malte Jakobsen, the first of the 2 Peugeots, all over the back of him.
And Alex Lynn in the Cadillac.
Alex Lynn with a great move. Now we go LMGT3 hopping with this flying train of hypercars.
Yeah, it's like 125 motorcycle racing, hopping along the queue, not because they've got a slipstream, because they're in a much quicker car, but the principle remains the same, like when you're in traffic on the autostrada, looking for the gap that you can duck back into.
So Alex Lynn, just looking at my tyre graphic here, he took the right-hand side used mediums in the last pit stop, so he has a... I know he doesn't have a tyre advantage over Rio, because Rio took left-hand side in his last pit stop, in the handover to him.
So the Toyota's still got softs on both cars, because that means they're into stint number 3 on those soft tyres. Now,
no, they've taken away. They've on the left-hand side with Hirakawa. They've swapped them now to mediums. They're planning on taking these soft tyres today with Michelin. He's the only one. He's the guinea pig out there, isn't he?
Oh, Malte Jakobsen falling over the 61 Iron Lynx car of Christian Ried. That might not play very well. Final point about manufacturers' points is they are only awarded to the best scoring car of the manufacturer. So Ferrari, that's 51. The 83 car, as you said, is not a factory car, it's a privateer car. 99 is not a factory Porsche, it's a privateer Porsche, but it's only the top scoring manufacturer's car that actually registers points for the manufacturers.
Both Peugeots, by the way, took brand new sets of medium tyres in their last pit stop. So Hirakawa's overtaken Alex Lynn. I don't know where it happened. I'm assuming it was in traffic. Lynn thinks about defending, and he's seen the Peugeots too far there alongside, thinks better of it, and lets the fresher tyres of the Peugeot get him this time.
Yeah, he's under threat from the other Peugeot, though. He's trying to defend this time. Second Peugeot in the train this time does see the back and then the side of the Cadillac.
Well, that was a brave move, wasn't it? Brave move and a half from the Peugeot around the outside of Piratella, and gets the inside for Aqua Minerale. Great stuff there from the 93. That's Jean-Eric Verne.
Yeah.
Really, and to be fair to Lynn, he gave him room as well. That could have easily been contact there.
And it's not over yet, because he's under pressure from the Alpine behind as well. Jeff got by, followed Malte Jakobsen. Now Charles Milesi wants to go. Has Milesi got a tyre advantage over the Cadillac of Alex Lynn?
It looks like he might have a problem here, Lynn, because he's losing too much time to Hirakawa, and yes, he would have been put offline and stuff earlier on, a few marbles in your tyres, but he looks like he just suddenly dropped pace.
So back then with the hypercar battle, this is the number 12 Caddy and the number 35 Alpine. In the Cadillac, Alex Lynn. In the Alpine, Charles Milesi. Such an aggressive-looking front.
And here's that traffic I was talking about, so I was a little bit premature in my predictions, but they're overtaking them on an easier part of the circuit here, and absolutely not in Jean-Eric Verne's favour. He's the loser in this particular situation.
Milesi lost out a little bit behind the Cadillac as well. But look, the Caddy is now right behind the Peugeot, and again the Peugeot compromised in Tosa. Here's an opportunity maybe for Alex Lynn to try and put the Peugeot between himself and the aggressive Alpine of Charles Milesi. Can't do it there. So Milesi in the 35 car, still all over the back of the Caddy.
I'm just getting massive understeer the last corner. There's great difficulty with the straight line. We are like top speed earlier than them.
Redressing, and here we go side by side. This is for second in class.
Yep. Simon Mann in the silver Ferrari with the orange highlights. The BMW don't get into another banging match with an LMGT3 car. This is Timo Bogusławski losing second place. Simon Mann, that's a really well-judged move. He put himself cleanly alongside Anthony and just made Bogusławski surrender into the braking zone.
Yeah, he wasn't giving up though, was he, down the run down the hill towards Acqua Minerale, and had a good run actually from being overtaken in Piratella, but it looks like things have calmed down a little bit for now.
Quietly becoming one of the stars of LMGT3, Simon Mann. Quietly spoken, but he knows where to put the car.
And the reason why, for those of you wondering why they get so close, you see it's unnecessary in a straight line, is because they get a bit of side draft from each other as well. It's a little bit like getting into the suction of the car in front when you're in slipstream. You speak to many GT drivers and say, yeah, the reason why we get so close is it's a bit like going very close to a wall. You get a bit of less drag from doing that, and now that both of them come into the pits, it's just, you can roll with it. You can let the car do what it wants to do. You're not hustling it around too much. And if you can find that kind of zone on this type of track, it's exactly where you want to be.
I thought Jev was having a look there as he came up to Variante Alta.
The Alpine's passed.
The Alpine has got by. John-Eric Verne didn't get by, but it was a pass. Charles Lacey got by Alex Lynn. Verne had quite a long look alongside Nico Pino in the 99 Porsche, but couldn't make it. And as you saw correctly, Charles Lacey, and look how quickly he's gapped Lynn again. Every car that goes by Alex Lynn immediately vaults away from him.
But he's really struggling for pace, isn't he? So this is Verne now. This is his best chance I've seen for quite some time. Which way are you going to go, Jean-Eric Verne? No, he's got a GT car. There's out the Lexus. It's just unbelievably saved Pino's bacon there, because Verne was definitely lining up for a move.
You heard Jeff having to lift as we left the onboard.
It's hard to follow the other car through as well. He's done the responsible thing, and you can see how you lose that gap to the car in front again. It's a frustrating part of the race here for Verne. He's seen his teammate make the move and pull away way into the distance. Where is car 94 now of Melter Jakobsen? 22.7 seconds.
Look at the Alpine now all over the Peugeot. We saw it in the mirror. It's the in-car LED screen aboard the Peugeot, but Malacy is on it. He's seen, I think, that this Proton Porsche is vulnerable. Verne is struggling to get by. This is the opportunity he's looking for to take not just one more place, but two.
That might be very overly ambitious.
I think you're right, Martin. His focus has gone from eyes in front of the car that he's trying to overtake for the last couple of laps to now fully looking in that virtual mirror. And there's the mistake he's been looking for. That's the mistake, finally. Now, and it's as easy as that.
I thought in Tamburello that there was a bobble from the 99 Porsche of Nico Pino as well, and there was definitely a major lack of grip there. Our two class leaders are our two pole sitters. Antonio Giovinazzi for Ferrari, car number 51. We ride on board with him. And leading in LMGT3, Team WRT BMW's Valentino Rossi, the man who put the car on pole position at his home track.
Antonio Giovinazzi completely in the groove, but that was just a glimpse of the fight we were talking about, wasn't it? The Alpine with the Ferrari, and the Ferrari has in fact overtaken car 15.
And this is up behind the 36 Alpine of Jules Gounon, who had stopped as well. So has he come back in front of them?
So the BMW did in fact get out in front, but on colder tyres, lost out to two cars.
And Gounon just held off the 50 Ferrari as well. That's good work, because Miguel Molina was looking to go by both of them.
Well, marked progress here for Raffaele Marcielli. It's been a great run so far from Jules Gounon this afternoon. He's well in the mix.
So they went off the softs onto mediums on the right side of the BMW, not softs on the right side of the BMW. It was all on softs. Those were yellow sidewalls. Worth pointing out, by the way, that, sorry,
I was going to say
laps.
two Ferraris nose to tail here, Martin. Go on, read us your stat.
108 laps is 530 kilometres on a racing tyre. Now, 500 kilometres isn't much on a road tyre, but on a racing tyre definitely is. So 83 then, closing in behind the number 50. This is for 7th place. Miguel Molina with Robert Kubica behind him. And don't forget, Kubica took over that car from Phil Hansen. It was in 2nd place.
Yeah, so Kubica took 4 new or slightly used mediums compared to Miguel Molina's only right side of used medium. So, yeah, even I can work out that's half, again, the amount of grip.
They're getting a massive discount on their tyre bill, aren't they, by just being extremely parsimonious.
All right, here we go then. Kubica is in the slipstream of the sister car. Let's see what they're going to do. Dives to the inside. And no resilience there, no resistance, I should say, from Molina to allow Robert Kubica through.
I think that will probably have been very well thought out and communicated between the two teams to the drivers on the radio. Let Robert by this time. He's on a different strategy. He's got to run longer on fuel. He's got fresher tyres. He's quicker than you. All of that stuff. So Gounon, of course, son of Jean-Marc Gounon, former sports car racer as well, and full-time driver for Alpine this season.
Okay, Lelo. Overtaking 36 is a prio, top prio. So let me know if you need a different Bravo.
Nope, he doesn't need that.
All good.
Copy.
All good, I got him. Well, you're not watching, guys. Yeah, that was half a lap earlier, in fairness, but it's top priority. Do you need another Bravo, which is, another fuel map or a bit more energy or whatever? No, got him. And so those fresh tyres, it's using that advantage while you can and not just sitting behind.
He's not desperate to overtake, but given the chance, he'll definitely go for it.
Side by side here, and that was more than side by side, 31 and the 10. And that's the 31 having made him... Oh, no! Oh, that was so close. That was so close.
So round the outside, there was room for it there, but then it's just unsighted. It's just... Oh, it's always so difficult to try and go around the outside of it.
There might have been quite significant damage here for this number 10. There's already damaged the rear of the car, and there's more damage there.
Yeah, you need in that kind of manoeuvre, like a karting style move, you need full compliance of the driver and awareness of the driver you've just sent down the inside of.
It's that moment.
It's the unsafe rejoin in a way, isn't it? I think we have most of the issue with.
That might well come back and bite more ways than one.
Yeah, that could be big. Oh, where's this puff of gravel come from? A big puff of gravel. Can't see. There's nobody off. They've got going again, but that was a proper rough ride, rally style through the exit of the Villeneuve chicane. Now, what can Giovinazzi do here? Not much. It's so narrow into Piratella. It's too fast a corner as well.
This has got the degree of inevitability now, but if you look at Fuoco here, he's taking a bit of a look. Come on, come on. And 31 off the track in avoidance here. I think might well be damaged there for the 31.
It's awkward for Fuoco because he is in a hurry, isn't he? It's a very different scenario to that of his teammate, who kind of, inevitably is going to get back into the lead of this race once the pit stops all shake out. But Fuoco, he's hemorrhaging time by watching his teammate just take his time in working his way past. Oh, and there's a mistake from Campbell. There's the chance that Giovinazzi wanted. Through he goes, and that's going to give Fuoco a beautiful run coming out of Rabanza 2 as well. Giovinazzi is back under threat, actually, down this main. The Porsche's got good straight line speed, and I think that's been Giovinazzi out. He's used the traffic very wisely there. Covers the inside as well into Tamburello chicane, so job is done for your race leader. Back in the lead once again. Giovinazzi, we'll look at Fuoco. Has a look to the inside into the Villeneuve chicane, but can't do it there.
Finally, couldn't resist.
Was that outside?
It was that
outside front the locked, I couldn't quite see.
It's a little like that, didn't it?
Yeah, it's one of the outside. Yeah, it must be outside front that locked up just over the bump, and that happens when the tyres get so old. You lose the gauge on your tyres, and that is just like Christmas and birthdays coming all at once for Giovinazzi is a great situation to be in when you see your rival make a mistake like that.
Yeah, and at that point, Matt Campbell did the right thing, realised there was no point, he couldn't resist. There were two choices, weren't there? Give the room or have a bit of an accident. He made the wise decision. Here comes the number 7 car, though. He's charging. This is Nick de Vries trying to get on terms with Matt Campbell. Under 2 seconds behind, and that was contact there with the rear right of the 15 BMW. And the number 10 that had been hit just a lap ago by the 31 LMGT3 BMW. Must be wondering what on earth is going on with his day. Change here for the lead in LMGT3, and it's Simon Mann on a charge and is ahead of Valentino Rossi.
Now how's he managed that?
Well, we talked a little earlier about, I think Valet is actually catching him back up. This is after Valet's recent stop. But I'm not quite sure how that's worked through. Just looking at the times on pit lane for those two. It was a fuel-only stop from Simon Mann. He's ceded 34, so he's gained 34 seconds on pit lane against Valentino Rossi.
Oh yeah, I don't have the tyre data for those of you wondering. I only have it on for the hypercars, so I'm guessing therefore, like you say, he's on much older tyres, and so he's gone for the track position.
Yep.
But Rossi's got a good run here on the exit of Acqua Minerale, and the drag race up the hill to the top chicane. It's going to be hard to go around the outside there. René Rast will tell you all about that. But yeah, he thinks better of it, and trying to work out where his best chance is to try and outbrake the Ferrari. We haven't seen the straight line speed difference between the two of these cars. Mann covers the inside into Ravazza 1. Oh, and Rossi sends it on the inside. There's contact.
And he's in the barrier. He's in the barrier. Oh dear, oh dear. That could be drama. Well, it's drama for at least one of them, and possibly both.
Seriously unhappy faces, as you'd imagine, from down at the Ferrari pit garage as well. In the pits there, there's just hands in their heads. But look, so he's seen a gap, goes for it, and Mann has just carried on turning in on the racing line. I think it was a little bit late. It was a little bit late from Rossi, I think, that through.
Hits the car behind the door.
Let's have a look from the car from behind. There was a gap, then there wasn't a gap, and not quite enough of his car was alongside. I'm going to have to give that one over to the stewards. They've been busy today.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I think that is the face that matters. They know, I think, the way that's likely to be called, and worse still for Simon Mann, cannot get the car back on track. Yellow at turn 19, virtual safety car is coming.
Wow,
well, that's an interesting call. So once we're under virtual safety car, we'll tell you exactly what that all means, but this could make a big difference to a number.
Virtual safety car in less than 15 seconds.
Okay, so they should be fine then. It doesn't look like it's a high intensity as we now go back to green flag conditions.
No passing before the line. Good restart by Alessandro Pierguidi. Drop the hammer to pull away from Kevin S. And the Ferrari, Anthony Davidson, will now not go the distance on these tyres. Probably not going to do 2 hours on a set of even new, cooler weather tyres, the soft.
Well, there's a bit of a touch there, wasn't there, between the Toyota and the number 15 BMW. They've been at it all race. Lots of wheel banging and scrapes and scuffs between the two manufacturers.
And the yellow Ferrari right behind them, the Air Corsa car, Robert Kubica, that car, of course, running second a long way through the race. And the number 50 Ferrari, which looked as though it might end up, it may be even on the podium, has now gone all the way back down. It's found a snake after all the ladders, down to 13th place. Always does, doesn't it? And it also starts to jiggle up the LMGT3 order as well. Looking at the 54 Ferrari.
Oh dear, that was
massive
close.
lock-up.
Wow, I thought that was going to be a crash. I don't know how Estra was able to lift off out of that and not cause contact with the Ferrari GT car. Sorry for butting it. I just thought we were about to see a T-bone there into Ravazza 1. How on earth? Look, threaded between two cars, a lock-up, and I tell you what saved him, the Ferrari's awareness. Yep. Whoever was in that GT car, who is that?
It's that the 54
was Davide Rigon.
Wow, Rigon, hats off to you, my friend. That was some reaction, because I think many other drivers would have turned in there. Look at this, through the inside one way, to the inside the other way, and that's just, I don't know how there wasn't contact. Yeah, they see it as well. That was my reaction.
And the same in LMGT3, and that of course is because everybody got shuffled back together by that safety car with 2 hours to go. Here comes Davide Rigon in the silver Ferrari, again looking down the hill into Ravazza, not close enough to have a lunge on, well, close enough to have a lunge, not close enough to have a clean or even remotely successful attempt to get by into Ravazza.
Lead Lexus on pit lane, and it's too early for that to be able to get home from there on fuel. That puts Ricky Perra in the 92 Monsai first form Porsche into the lead for, I think, the very first time. Charlie Eastwood goes second, Valentino Harzeclo third. Kelvin van der Linde is within half a second now of the Aston Martin to get back into a podium position. What a remarkable run.
So Esteban Masson out of the car. There's a driver change, so who's got back in? Hopefully not Arnold Robert. Surely he did his driver time early on. If it's not, then that's another error by the team, or maybe they were just forced into it by the fact that it was all still green up to that stage.
He thought about it again, didn't he? But yeah, the Corvette had it covered. Juncadella could see it coming and
parked it in Tosa.
Yeah, it would have been a bit late, but Rigon's doing anything he can right now to just try to just send him off balance a little bit, just, you know, duck and dive a little bit, and you see the car behind you flashing in your mirrors the whole time. You're not quite sure. You want to try to upset them in any way you can, but yeah, it wasn't to be that time around into Tosa. Meanwhile, running on board with Michel Gatting momentarily before that top chicane there.
And just behind them, you saw the battle between the BMW, the 46 BMW, and the number 10 Corvette, Aston Martin Racing Spirit Le Mans car. So Kelvin van der Linde behind Valentin Harzeclo. That is the battle for third place.
And 17 seconds off the lead, as opposed to 25 seconds for van der Linde it was when he came out after the penalty. Helped, of course, by the fact that the leading Lexus has pitted.
17 seconds off the lead, but only 5 seconds off second place. So they might not get back to the top of the pile, but they're going to be very close if they can get by the Aston Martin there. They don't quite, but this is the battle. Valentin Harzeclo with the Dayglow yellow nose, and the Dayglow yellow nose on 46. Kelvin van der Linde. Through comes the Aston Martin, through comes the Toyota as well, squeezing through this battle, and that's the opportunity for the South African. He's going to have to go the long way around the French driver, and he's going to try and make it work. He'll have the run on the exit, and that means Harzeclo can't use all the power, can't drift out wide. That was great opportunism.
Here comes the 50 Ferrari into the mix here. That's going to make it trickier for Val Harzeclo to get back involved here. He's lost that moment, and away goes Kelvin van der Linde. What a run back to a potential podium place it's been for the Team WRT driver.
But I don't think there's much he can do there. Kevin Estre brakes nice and early. You think about the switchback on the inside, but he's got that bit of contact there, but that was too close.
The look behind the BMW is watching this going on and looking for whether the error that's being forced might give the opportunity. Behind him too is the, of course, number 83 Ferrari.
So where's he going to go? To the outside, surely to the outside. And he's got enough of his car alongside now. It's all about the braking, but he's not far enough alongside. And that situation I was speaking about before happens once again. But Estre is struggling. He's massively on the defensive here.
On the Porsche ahead of him. He's got to look ahead and behind at the same time. And behind Dries Van Toor, the yellow Ferrari, Robert Kubica. And behind him, we ride on board with Sheldon van der Linde, and he's...
That's what I said before, wasn't it? Car 50 really has caught up to the back of car number 8. And this is important. This is critical for
both
50, well, mostly for car 50's progress in this race today, because they purposely pitted early out of sequence of other cars to maximise its potential. Down the inside, finally, Kobayashi, a little bit of wheel banging there. I think that was fair. That was good hard racing between two hard drivers.
Yeah, he was square alongside, unlike a couple of the touches we've seen there.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, and Estra, to be fair to Kobayashi, Estra did make his life very hard by slightly moving under the braking zone, well, not moving under the braking, but taking an early turn in.
You see the energy on screen. The Alpine is due a pit stop, so too the BMW, but with 53% of usable energy, 52%. Can the 51 Ferrari go all the way? Well, the 83 Ferrari further down has got 58% energy. Toyota number 8 and the 50 Ferrari with 80% energy perhaps show you what you need. And there's the 50 car off the road, having another lunge. Antonio Fuoco at Sebastian Buemi, actually trying to go around the outside at Tamburello. And Buemi going, mate, really?
Very tough to go around the outside there, like we've seen so many times today, and not quite enough of the car. It was the closest he's been, but there wasn't quite enough of the car ahead before turning into the corner, so you don't own the corner, as they say. But I know what you're going to say, Graham. That was a different part of the track we saw the replay from. I think that was up at the top chicane.
Yes.
50 going across the grass.
And now we continue with the soft, and we under-fueled 2 times now to try to split the last 2 stints that we have to do. So we are, of course, current. Wow. Sorry, that's good for us because we are fighting against them. So actually, if they continue like that. But yeah, no, it's a crazy race as usual in WEC, a lot of fighting. We are in the fight, so let's see what's going to happen. If they continue also to fight, it's going to help us, so we cross fingers.
Okay, thank you, Jules.
Yeah, puncher for the 50 Ferrari. Oh my goodness. Well, clearly Antonio Fuoco had enough of that after the last lap and went, no, I'm not putting up with that again. But he's paid the penalty, I'm afraid, for insisting that Sebastian Buemi let him through, and it's a left rear puncher.
Actually, last lap was 2 seconds faster, but yeah, it's nice to watch the car having such performance, but they haven't had that trouble-free race that the car 51's enjoyed.
There's our LMGT3 battle, the turquoise Porsche, Richie Leitz, and behind him, the blue 46 BMW, Kelvin van der Linde, with a tyre advantage. 20 laps, 18 laps fresher tyres, and Leitz on his final public warning for track limits. Okay, this plus 1 more lap, maybe if they're really lucky, van der Linde and crew might get a second go at it, but if he gets to Leitz, he's got to lunge immediately, Anthony. Might happen at Tosa. Here is our race leader. Out of the final corner comes Alessandro Pierguidi, Ferrari 51, started in front. It will claim victory for the first time in Italy. And for the first time outside Le Mans, a red car wins. And here is the battle for victory. Around the outside into Acqua Minerale. Can he cut back to the inside? Van der Linde finds the road is full of Porsche. And now Richie Leitz has got to survive 4 more corners. Variante Alta, a chance for van der Linde. Leitz is in the middle of the road. Van der Linde looks left, he looks right.
He's going to have a great run on the exit of this chicane because Leitz was compromised by having to defend into that chicane. So it's all going to boil down to the Ravazzas.
He can't make contact into Ravazza. Leitz has got to keep the door shut on the inside. And he's 2 corners away from victory. 1 corner away from victory. And it is going to be the win for the 92 first form Manthey Porsche, just ahead of the 46 BMW. Valentino Rossi does not get to win at home, but jubilation. First win in the World Championship for the first form team.
Nowhere in Qatar, the Porsches absolutely did it here. Great last couple of laps from Richie Leitz, with clearly a less good car underneath him than Kelvin van der Linde.
But 3 different brands in the top 3. Ferrari, BMW and Alpine. The best Toyota in 5th position, and the best of the Porsches in 8th, with a Peugeot and a Cadillac also making it into the points. In LMGT3, Porsche from BMW, from Lexus. 3 different brands in the top 3, but somehow apparently balance of performance is a bad thing. And the 51 Ferrari probably wouldn't get long odds on them winning, but it was a good job by the entire crew.
Number 36 Alpine Endurance Team is Jules Gounon, Fred Macavecchi and Mick Schumacher.
And well done to them. That's a big step forward again. It just goes to show, doesn't it? It's getting more and more difficult to win and to get to this level, the podium in the FIA World Endurance Championship.